Well, joining us now via Skype is Professor Avi Bell from the Faculty of Law at Bar Ilan University to discuss the implications of the International Criminal Court launching an investigation into crimes in the Palestinian territories. Now, why is this taking place right now, and why is Israel so upset, especially since Palestinians are also being probed?
Well, it would be incorrect to actually see this as happening right now. This is a multi-year process. This started more than 5 years ago. There's been a preliminary investigation going on. What will be next now is an investigation that will eventually lead to charges against Israelis. It's a political process rather than a legal process, so everyone knows in advance what the ultimate results will be. There will be charges against Israelis. There will not be charges against Palestinian terrorists. That's the reason why Hamas, the leadership of Hamas, was openly rejoicing about the decision of the prosecutor, and that's why Israeli leaders from across the political spectrum have denounced the process.
Now, if Israel refuses to take place in this probe, can Israeli officials still be prosecuted? How does this work?
Well, the International Court can do whatever it wants. According to the law, it does not have jurisdiction over Israeli officials because Israel's not a state party. But that won't stop the International Criminal Court. It's very clear, not only from what the prosecutor said, but from the three-judge panel before whom this decision is going to fall, that they've already settled on their course. Their course is to bring charges against Israelis, and it doesn't really make a difference what the law is. Right. And so they will ultimately bring charges against Israelis. There's no question about that. And
then how does that play out?
At that point, Israel will have the choice of either cooperating or not cooperating. I do believe that the Israeli leadership is smart enough to understand, as Prime Minister Netanyahu said, that this is all a political farce. Right. And so they may order Israelis to show up to the kangaroo court, but I don't think that the Israelis will.
Now, what is the implication of this probe, this investigation, in terms of how the IDF functions? Because back in 2009, the UN Human Rights Council issued the Goldstone Report, which accused Israel for war crimes during the 2008 to 2009 Gaza war. What was the outcome of that, and did anything change in terms of how the IDF functions?
The IDF has always had a very rigorous system of checking to make sure that its procedures and follow the laws of war, and that its soldiers obey those rules. These procedures are being updated all the time to make them more effective, but there really isn't all that much more that can be done. What the ICC is going to be pursuing are fake crimes, and if one wants to make accusations of fake crimes, it has really nothing to do with the actual practice of anyone.
What do you mean by that, fake crimes? Can you kind of delve a little bit more into that?
Well, there's two kinds of charges that the ICC is heading towards. One set of them is alleged Israeli war crimes. What we're talking about there are real laws that have to do with war crimes. There are certain things that one must not do in combat. Israel obeys those rules. The Palestinians don't, and for that reason, the ICC is going to bring charges against Israelis and not Palestinians. That is because it's ignoring the law and following the politics. The other kind of charge that the ICC is aiming towards is towards actions that have never been seen as criminal anywhere in the world, such as the act of Jews living in territories that were unlawfully occupied by Jordan between 1948 and 1967.
All right. Well, the final thing that I wanted to ask you, because I just think that this is so interesting. Israel has convicted many of its own soldiers for violating the IDF's ethical code. And that is because the IDF sticks to this ethical code very ferociously, you could say. Now, is the same being done on the Palestinian side? And is this taken into consideration in any, in the ICC probe more specifically?
Of course it's not. Of course, it's not taken into account by the ICC probe. You're exactly right that Israel takes the laws of war very, very seriously, and it prosecutes its own soldiers when they fail to obey those rules. And the Palestinians not only don't take seriously the laws of war, they deliberately violate them all the time. And they deliberately violate them all the time because they know that they will be judged in international institutions like the ICC, which give the Palestinians a free pass for any illegal actions and will always accuse Israel unfairly and wrongly. So nothing will change on the Palestinian side until institutions like the ICC are willing to apply the law and apply it fairly.
All right. Well, it's going to be, very interesting to see how this plays out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.